Hey everybody, Railman28 here, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another episode of Wrestling with Railman28 podcast. Ring the bell please. Thank you. Now, EWE Requiem post-show podcast. I did the pre-show, telling you all the story, and let me give you a rundown what went on. So, I went to the Bedford in Balham for EWE Requiem. It all went well. As far as I know it did. I saw Don Fury, walked out. Don't know what it was all about, but he seemed upset. So, I'm guessing it had something to do with Theodore Powers. More on him in a minute. And, well, what can I say? Went into the show as normal, got my shirt from Liz, as per usual. Good shirt, with red lettering, my size, 4XL, lovely. Now, I had me drink already, because I had a drink when I got there, before it all started. So we started off with the casket match, which was Razor versus Curtis Atlas, the Hoss fighter. So, yeah, all went down pretty roughly. Razor fought Atlas well, but Atlas seemed to be too strong for him. All because, well, Atlas is a strong fighter, of course, from Wales. He is the dragon, after all. And, of course, Razor gave me pats on the shoulder. Gotta love that man. Love him. And of course, after that match, we had other matches to think about. We had, at the beginning of the show, William Hudson Alexander Moore came out, interrupting Terence Thatcher, good old Terence Thatcher, running the gig with the microphone, as he's good on the microphone. Better than anyone else, actually. Yeah. But I could have done a good job as well, if I was on the mic. No problem. Clive Jackson, Jack, on the commentary table on his own as Shaggy, dressed up as Shaggy. Don't forget it was Halloween, don't forget. Now, after all of that, we managed to kickstart with some matches after Buff Broadside did make an appearance. I thought he wasn't going to have an appearance, but he did. But obviously, scores needed to still be settled. And of course, one of the entourage says he could beat Buff Broadside and get him out of commission. Well, actually, it was all proven wrong. Now, one of the entourage, Fabiano Romano, faced Leapfrog in a kendo stick match. Oh, what a match that was. I enjoyed that. And Leapfrog was by my side, waiting for Fabiano Romano to make a mistake, which he did, and wallop on the kendo stick he went, hitting Fabiano with his kendo stick. And even though Romano got his kendo stick and Leapfrog got his, like a sword fight, to be honest. But it was fantastic. Leapfrog won the match. Before that, he did a 619 like Rey Mysterio. The legendary luchador. Lovely. I love that move. Excuse me. Now, after that, we had the light heavyweight championship. Again, well, it's Yaya, the Somalian warrior. Yaya versus Ricardo Borg, the anti-human now he is. I thought he was the breadwinner. Well, anti-human now. Oh god, whatever next. They are my friends after all. It's all part of the story, as per usual. They fought each other. Now, I think there was a botch on this one. A big botch. Where the pumpkin was not supposed to break. And, well, of course, Ricardo Borg broke it, of course. Broke the pumpkin. And Yaya had to use 2 layers of the pumpkin just to put on Ricardo's head to win the match. That was the actual pumpkin on a pole match. You have to place the pumpkin on the head of your opponent in order to win the match and retain the title, which Yaya did. Fair and square. That was no fluke. No fluke at all. Yaya won that match. And by God, did he fought hard. Ricardo and Yaya were aggressive towards each other. They just beat each other up and down, up and down. And of course, Yaya trained in Japan. He defended that title in Japan. Now that is one legendary champion. That's what a fighting champion does. Defend his title not only at the Bedford, but across the world. That was the very first thing he did. That's a first, I have to admit. Otherwise we would have had a Japanese champion then. Can't imagine that, perish the thought. But yeah, my mate Yaya won that match. Great man, that. What a fighter he is. Good fighter. So is Ricardo. But obviously I hope Ricardo returns to his normal self eventually to bring Chester back. To find out who really took Chester, but that's another story. Next up, after that, we all had a break. Now, before I get started, originally, Buff Broadside versus Fentos. Now, originally it was supposed to be Claudia Bradstone, but Claudia had to go back to Portugal. So that match didn't go according to plan. So we had Buff Broadside with his injured leg against Fentos. Oh, it was very, very funny. They did rock, paper, scissors. That was entertainment, honestly. And Fentos said, he said to me, I didn't ask for your opinion. And I said, you said it, mate. You said you wanted to take out Buff Broadside. So you said it, mate. Yeah, and even though Buff asked Alexander Moore, he said, are you proud of what happened to me? Getting attacked. Wham just looked at him and thought, what's he talking about? I didn't arrange all of that. Obviously he did, honestly, and he had to make up for his sins, but more on that later. Then after that match, it was an over-the-top rope match, and Buff Broadside threw Fentos over the top rope. And oh my God, Fentos tripped and fell on the floor. Oh dear. How clumsy was he, eh? But nah, he weren't. He lost, and that was it. Fentos' plan backfired. There you go. He thought he was going to have Claudia Bradstone, but he didn't. He had Buff instead. Buff did a grand job. Well, that was during the show anyway, but never mind. But that was after another match anyway. But before all of that, Buff would have thought to have his fireworks for his entrance, but obviously that came later on. The fireworks was used anyway. But before all of that, after the championship match with Ricardo Borg and Yaya, I went to have my drink, to get my second drink, and to be honest, I waited a couple of minutes, or more, nearly 10 minutes for my drink, and I had 5 minutes to get back to the show. So I got my drink, went back, sat down. What do I find? Wet floor signs. Yeah, here we go. Wet floor sign match. I thought that's the next part to kick off the show, the second part of the show. So that was it. And before it all began, I sat down. I was talking to Michelle and my mate Tony when Theodore Powers walked past me and said F off in my ear. I was only talking to myself. I was talking to my friends, and he had to go and butt in. Oh well, can't win them all, I suppose. Then, when he came out, I just carried on drinking me drink. I was halfway through me drink actually. Then I laughed when he didn't have Don Fury, because Don Fury had to go somewhere and Theodore thought he wasn't going to get anyone in the ring, but he was wrong. He got my good best friend buddy, Twisted the Clown. I just love Twisted. obviously, my good friend of mine, I was hoping he'd come back, and obviously he must have read my messages actually on Instagram, but there you go. He did come back, and he fought Theodore Powers, and now they're both rivals now, both he and Theodore, which I'm glad. But during that match between him and Theodore Powers, between Twisted and Theodore, I was having so much fun watching that match, watching Theodore Powers getting beaten to death. Honestly, he was afraid, that Theodore Powers, afraid of what Twisted might do, because Twisted was actually a capable man, a capable wrestler, and much smarter than Theodore Powers. Clever him. And Theodore, he wanted me to give him a wet floor, so I went, no thanks, I chucked it aside, and then he picked up one beneath me, and then he knocked over my drink on my trousers on purpose. And then I paid £4 for that. Oh. And he just laughed and blew me a kiss, and I went, that's it. That's strike 3. I couldn't bear any of that, guys. Honestly, it was humiliating. It really was annoying. And anyway, my trousers were due for a wash anyway. Anyway, no matter. I'm going to get Theodore Powers back. I hope EWE are listening to this podcast. Please, EWE, help me get my revenge. Please. I really want my revenge of what Theodore Powers done to me. Or if not, he can come out and apologise. How's that? I don't think a wrestler's supposed to do that to a fan. No doubt. Obviously, they could do what they like. I know we're not supposed to get physically involved with the wrestlers, but what happens if it was the other way around? The wrestlers get physically involved with the fan for no apparent reason, like spilling their drinks over their laps when they're halfway through them. Anyway, moving on. Right, so we come to the main event, which is the tag titles are on the line from the Entourage, which is Lewis Basham, the Law Lewis Basham, actually, and the Posh Man, William Hudson Alexander Moore. And all went well with the match versus Project Mayhem. They were facing them as a rematch, which Project Mayhem deserved, which was Jacob Sullivan and the Immortal Devious Danny. More like sound the Immortal Hulk Hogan, actually. I've got a funny feeling Devious Danny will challenge Basham for the EWE Heavyweight Championship. And obviously, that's called to stir a few pots, I think. But enough of that, let's get on to the match. So the match got started with Danny and Jacob beating up both Basham and William. Oh my god. Chaos all over when the bell rang. Bang, 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 bang. Oh, just to wear them down, no doubt. But obviously they looked like they were getting wore down, the Project Mayhem were, but obviously something inside them. Well, actually, I actually encouraged them, actually. Basham wouldn't like me saying that, but there you go. Anyway, the match carried on with Project Mayhem beating the living hell out of Basham and William. Oh, they took a lot of a big beating, Basham and William did. And no matter how many times Basham tried to fight Danny and Jacob, they were like swarming around him like hornets and wolves, taking a bite out of each flesh. But obviously, Basham tried his best, and then that's when Danny was taken out by Basham, and then all that was left was Jacob. And William started to feel sorry for Jacob, saying, your tag partner's not there. Where's your tag partner? And then William knew. He heard me say Basham took him out. Basham did it. And then William started to act strangely. He started to say, hang on, this doesn't feel right. There's no honour in this. Where's the honour? And that's what William wanted. To fight with honour, not cheat. Oh, something did change him. And the curse I put on the tag title belt, that must have worked like a charm. So, Basham, if you're wondering why everything's going wrong, wait till you wear the heavyweight title belt, then you'll see what I mean. But anyway, after a long period of time, Basham gave a punch to the ref, knocking out the referee, and, gave William the gavel, and he said, "Do as you're told, hit him with the gavel." And then he said, "Well, it's not right, Basham." And then Basham said, "I don't care, we are the champs, we get to decide who gets to take us on, not everyone else." Well, obviously, I know he didn't say that, but obviously William had enough. And I said, "Go on, William, do it. Hit Basham. Hit him. He was abusing you. Do it." Even though Basham hit him in the end. Hit him in the chest. Hitting him, telling him to do as he's told. But William refused. And then he decided he has had enough. And then hit Basham with his own gavel. Oh, God, that was sweet. He started hitting Basham, hitting him with his own gavel, and then jumped out the ring, leaving Basham to the wolves of justice. And that's how Project Mayhem beat Basham 1, 2, 3, and became the new tag team champions. There you go. That was the main event. And I enjoyed every minute of it. And I'm glad William's now a good guy. And I hope William hires Arcadius back and apologises to Arcadius for all the wrongdoings he did. I'm sure Arcadius would forgive him. Obviously, I hope he would. And then William will get his match with Basham for the EWE Heavyweight Championship, and it'll be a last man standing match. And I hope that would be a match. That would be some match. And that's what William will do. He does make matches. The manager, the general manager of EWE does make matches, not the commissioner. Easy peasy. Well, that was the show, guys, and I will get Theodore Powers eventually. I've got myself a new key ring that is green, like Leapfrog, like Clan Line, like the rest of me steam engines that are green. I love it. I'll cherish it as my lucky charm. So, the next event for EWE is Night to Remember on the 24th of November, not 25th. Just to correct Terence Thatcher on that. Love Terence Thatcher. I'm glad he's back. And I hope he'll be back in the ring next month. And I hope to see William Hudson Alexander Moore running the show with Terence. And hopefully he'll start being friendly to people. He'll start offering me to come into the ring. Saying, "Terry, what did Theodore Powers do to you last month? I sort of noticed there was some mess on the floor." And I'll say, "Theodore Powers spilled my drink on my trousers." And were those Adidas trousers? He would ask. "Yeah, they were." And he went, "Oh, Terry, I'm so sorry to hear that. And how much did your drink cost?" £4. And I just paid, and I just had my drink already. He said, "The next drink you're going to get is going to be on the house. So, Terry Bartlett, make sure the bar next door, give him a drink, it's on the house." "What do you want?" he said. I said, "A Coke. Pint of Coke." I said, "Don't worry, Terry, you're going to get..." I hope he'll say, "Don't worry, Terry, you're going to get Theodore Powers back for what he did to you. I'll make sure of that. How would you like to have a nice wrestling experience tonight?" I wouldn't say no to that. That'll be good. Then, that's when we'll get it on. And I hope Dom Fury comes back to fight Theodore Powers. But then again, I'll be surprised if Theodore Powers apologises to me. Well, anyway, moving on from that, and yeah. So, thanks for tuning in, guys, to the Wrestling with Railman28 podcast, EWE Requiem post-show. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Ring the bell, please. Thank you. So, next EWE event is the 24th of November. Please go and get your tickets now. If you have problems, please ask at the door when you come to the event at the Bedford in Balham. It's a great show. It's going to be another great show. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be another great show. And £15 on the door for me, no problem. I just wouldn't mind if I wrestled for one night. A live training wrestling session would do me good to see what it is. I just really want a taste of it. Because, as Soraya would say, you gotta be hungry for it. And I am hungry for it. Literally. And no doubt it'll be against Theodore Powers, or he might challenge a member of the audience. No doubt it'll be me, Steam Train. And he actually said my name when he said, "Shut up, Steam Train." Honestly, I am that close to getting in the ring. But I've got to remember to hold back. That's all. So, peace out, guys. The next video will be Airwolf, of course, the part 2 of the Lost Treasure, and a sequel after that will be Airwolf and the Witch War, and the Witch's War. It'll be an awesome audio show. And of course, I'm going to do like a ghost train somehow. Got to do a ghost train for Train Simulator. No questions about that. Got to do it. So, see you again soon, guys. Stay safe. Oh yeah, and next week, Monday, I'll be at WWE Live at the O2 Arena. Hopefully I get to meet some WWE superstars. Well, I haven't got a VIP ticket, so pretty much won't be able to. So, who knows? I might get a surprise. So, stay safe, guys. Bye for now.